Hey everyone, welcome to a very special edition of Tunnel Vision. This is our virtual watch party. We're going to talk about some USC football from yesteryear. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham. We're joined by a whole bunch of people. We got Shotgun Spratling, Keely Yor, Dan Weber, and the great Shaun Cody. He should be way down at the bottom there. I'll show Dan here back in a minute. They were getting stuff ready, but we're going to do a little watch party for USC Oklahoma 2005 BCS National Championship game at the Orange Bowl, and Shaun Cody was a big part of that. So we did a show last week, 1978 USC Notre Dame game. This is a little bit more recent. We're going to watch. It's about a 2-hour version of the game. We'll probably skip some of the stuff at the end and go. We'll try to keep it to that, and watch the exciting parts, and then kind of skip ahead. And all of us will have commentary throughout the show. So. Put your comments in the Facebook page or on Periscope. We're broadcasting both, and then we'll try to address any kind of concerns you have or questions during the game. But I want to welcome everyone in. Keely, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Hello. Glad to be here for another watch party. Excited to have Shaun with us today.
Yeah, we got Shaun. Shotgun, how are you?
Doing good. Like I said before we started recording, I think this is the first time that I've ever seen this game. I don't remember watching this. I was in college. I think I was probably – because it was a January day, I was probably home working, so I didn't get a chance to watch this. So this should be interesting for me.
Yeah, and I'll pop Keely out and put Dan in there. Dan, how are you?
Doing good. I enjoy this is fun. I actually previewed this a little bit last week because I knew we were going to be on, and it's great fun to watch this again.
Yeah, it should be fun. And then it's going to be really fun to watch with the great Shaun Cody. He does a great job covering USC. He's part of the athletic department now on the radio broadcast and everything, doing the Trojans live and everything. Shaun, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited about doing this. I'm a big fan of USCFootball.com. I listen to your guys' podcast, and to be doing it with the great Dan Weber and Shotgun Sprackling and Keely and Ryan Abraham, it's going to be a tremendous Saturday, and I'm ready to get this game going.
Yeah, this is quarantine viewing. So what else you got to do on a Saturday morning? We don't have any live sports, so watch something that was pretty cool back in the day. Keely, how are we comment wise? Can we hear us? Are there everyone okay so far? No technical difficulty.
I think we're doing good. The comments are coming in. People are excited to rewatch this game. Some are joking that they're nervous about the outcome, but I think it's a good outcome for USC fans.
Nice. All right, so why don't we get this rolling and start the game, and we'll make comments. I'm going to probably put Keely up there and check out for a bit. I'm going to try to make sure we can put up comments live during the show, but let's start the show.
And here come the Sooners of Oklahoma.
So I looked it up, and there's 11 AP All-Americans in this game from 2004 season. So USC had I think 6 or 7, and then Oklahoma had 5, I believe it was. So a lot of talent on the field.
Listen to these guys.
Heisman Trophy runner-up. Tonight they've got a Heisman Trophy runner-up, and they have the winner from last year.
Well, I think that this game tonight has the 2 best quarterbacks in the nation, and in Jason White, rarely do you get a chance for a do-over. Last year, he lost the championship game at the Sugar Bowl to LSU. He gets a chance to win it tonight, and he's got a great supporting cast. The best offensive line in the nation, in my estimation, and 5 outstanding wide receivers to throw to.
And oh, by the way, he's got a running back named Peterson that's not too bad.
Well, the feel-good story of the year in college football, Adrian Peterson, a true freshman. The one thing they didn't have last year in that championship game was a running game. Adrian Peterson is that running game.
The guy who's won all his games except
and they didn't
one
have
of the last 2 years as a quarterback for USC. He's our current Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, Matt Leinart, and I really like this kid. I think he is the.
I'm getting nervous, guys, right now. Getting ready. all the memories are pouring back in. It's starting to get real again. These guys look great too. Greasy. Oh man, he's quite young still. This game was a long time ago.
Four of the top vote getters for the Heisman Trophy are here tonight, and maybe the most electrifying guy in the game is here, Reggie Bush.
You give me one pick of all the college players, and I'm taking Reggie Bush. There's so many things he can do. Punt returns, receiving from the outside, running from the tailback position, and he's so explosive.
Who was favored in this game, guys? Because I felt that we were the underdog going into this one. Maybe Coach Carroll and Ed Ozer were pumping us up, but I felt that they had us trained to think that we were the underdog in this one.
USC was kind of more of a point, say a week before the game, but it got back down to about a point favorite. USC was a point favorite.
In August, they were ranked number 1, and here in January of 05, still.
Hey, Dan, we're having issues hearing you. I'm going to mute you for a minute, so if you want to work with Diana, try to get, because it's even worse than it was before, so sorry about that.
Okay.
But check with that. Yeah, it's really hard to hear you.
Shaun, what's going through your head right now? You're like prepping.
I'm going, oh my God, it's Shaquille O'Neal. I read his book when I was a kid. I was like, he's Shaquille O'Neal. I'm really close to him. And I remember getting Shaq Dap and being nervous, I guess, mostly, and excited for the game and ready to go.
What was kind of you guys' defensive focus this game? Was it on Peterson? I mean, Jason White's coming off a Heisman Trophy season. They got Mark Clayton on the outside. But was it all Adrian Peterson up front for you guys?
Yeah, on defense, we were definitely focused. I mean, our focus all year was trying to stop the running game, and that would unleash our pass rush on the way to the quarterback kind of mentality. But it was definitely stopping Adrian Peterson and what he had been able to do. And we had a pretty good offensive line going in the game. I think Gavin Joseph and the left tackle, his name passes me, but we'll see him out there. But definitely a strong offensive line and trying to stop their running game first.
Yeah, they had Jamal Brown, who was a first-team All-American as well.
Saints.
Turn your backs here. USC, your backs here.
Look how slender I am, guys. Look at those nice childbearing hips and sleek body, man. That's a nice young Shaun Cody look right there.
It's amazing how, like, Bob Stoops looks young, Pete Carroll looked young. Everybody, I mean, just how, I guess it wasn't that long ago, 15 years ago or whatever, but crazy.
Oh, that's not that long ago, like half my life ago.
Lynn Swan.
The difference in this game, how have they improved since last year?
Lynn Swan, I think USC fans had a different opinion of him then as opposed to now.
Yeah.
And we come into this game not having to answer any questions for an entire month. A lot more positive attitude. We're excited. Can't wait.
I know you're ready to get it started, so good luck, Coach. Now let's go to the other sideline.
I took some pre-workout round, guys. I'm really excited. Holy crap. Let's go.
His ankle is thunder and lightning ready to go. Yeah, we're ready. We're full strength right now. He had a heck of a finish to this week. We're going to count on him.
Was Pete's pregame speech any different this game?
No. I think the biggest thing about Pete's talk before the game was he just wanted to make you feel comfortable in doing what you were doing. You know, he wasn't asking you to do anything super or something crazy. It was just do your job, go as fast as you can, and we'll clean up the mistakes. And that's what made you feel confident, I think, as a person, as a player, because he would take all the mistakes, just play hard, and he wanted to go 100 miles an hour. And that was what he was worried about.
Have died down and dwindled to just a breeze. So 12-0 and 12-0. And as John Saunders mentioned,
a little different than the last Orange Bowl we played in. I didn't play in the first when we played against Iowa. I was just in party mode. I was on IR, or I was hurt for the whole year. So getting ready for this was a lot different than getting ready for that.
Between the two teams, USC leads 5 wins.
That Iowa game, they ran back the opening kickoff, right?
Yeah. I was on the sideline just watching, pretty stunned at that, and still in party mode. Hey, man, we might lose this game.
Hey, Dan, let's try your audio again. Let's see.
Weren't even around then.
Here we go.
That's Reggie Bush. We
Is that
talked
any
about
better?
him, how dangerous he is as a kick
You're still pretty
returner,
quiet.
returner,
Can we talk about Reggie Bush or no?
Of course. You can do whatever you want, Shaun.
I don't know the rules, man. I got lots of rules when I work, so I don't know.
Flashbulbs. All the talk about number 1 and number 2 back in August.
The game that
And out here,
USC
it's
gets is
05. And
Leinart
we're about 3.5 hours from finding out.
And
Yeah.
Who's going to be the
he's a
BCS
real
National
big deal
Champion.
in this game.
From the Orange Bowl.
Hey, Dan, it is still really quiet. I don't know if you want to try the headphones with headphones with the microphone on it, maybe something like that. But it's really just hard to hear you right now.
That means number 11.
Yeah, they're not compatible with the iPad, unfortunately.
As we take a look at the Heisman Trophy winners,
Okay.
numbers 28 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 67.
Look at those dimples, Jesus. Those are deep, man. He's still got those deep dimples.
249 yards per game wins you a Heisman Trophy. That wouldn't fly these days.
Who's going to replace Carson Palmer, our Heisman Trophy
Shotgun
winner?
notices the stats. I go straight to the dimples.
Since he's taken over.
So they'll start from their own 35. The Trojans send 5 wide receivers out with an empty
Keely, what was
backfield.
9-year-old Keely thinking about right now?
Pete Carroll might
I
be
don't know.
along
I don't know what I was up to when this was happening.
Quick slant, Reggie Bush, first down at midfield.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's a good start to the game. Spread them out 5 wide, put Reggie outside.
On the first play of the game.
Yeah, Norm Chow was pretty smart, man. He knew what he was doing.
Have something to cheer about.
The one thing I do remember the early part of this game is, USC kind of got going, but then stalled a little bit, and Oklahoma, scores a touchdown, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, this is. The Oklahoma fans were extremely confident very early in this game, and then it just turned, not so much later.
How about that offensive line, guys? Jesus.
Under center. You don't see that very often either anymore.
Ryan Khalil. Rest in peace, Fred Matua, Sam Baker.
Oh wow, yeah.
Deuce Latui. Those are some guys, NFL. I played all those guys in the NFL moving up too. What quite a line.
Dan Cody, not related.
Not related. No, we did a lot of events together as brothers because everyone thought we were related. But, he was also, I think, an All-American, but a good guy. Old Dan.
Second down at 14. Leinart, quick drop, throw over the middle, and broken up.
Ooh, dangerous. Can't throw off your back foot like that.
I blame Alex Holmes on that play.
Nice. Alex would have been fun to have on this thing too.
Oh, Alex is great.
Hey, Dad, let's try you again. Sorry.
There's no microphone on the headset for the iPad, unfortunately. So, this is the best it's going to get, I think.
Okay.
Is that any good? I mean, can you hear anything?
It's a little tough. I'll play with things a little bit more on my end.
They don't play on first and second downs.
At the 42 of the Sooners. Here comes some pressure. The throw is incomplete. Intended on a slant across the middle for Jason Mitchell, and it's broken up by the Sooners.
The first drive is nerve-wracking in these games, guys. This is a little tight.
You had that big play early, and then, after that, sort of stalled.
Ryan, what were your feelings at this point, Ryan, in this point of the game? Obviously, it's early in the game, but you're obviously nervous about this one coming into it.
Look at that, Lane Kiffin right there. That's so funny. He has like porn stash going. I think people were pretty jazzed up for this game. But both teams were 12-0. Now you'd be 14-0, modern day. But you just didn't know. It's like Oklahoma going to be bigger, tougher, stronger, and I don't think you knew at this point. And then Oklahoma scores. Doing a spoiler alert, and then you're like, I remember the Oklahoma fans being very confident after this first drive.
Hey, stop spoiling things, Ryan. Like I said, I haven't seen this before.
Oh, he also caught that punt.
I mean, they were unbelievably confident going into the game. So this just made them more confident. I mean, they could not have been more confident.
Yeah.
Jason said, last year we won.
Jason White doesn't look like he's seen the sun.
It's his last name, White.
True.
Tonight he gets his shot.
His last name could have been Pasty as well.
It's the freshman Peterson hitting the backfield.
That play right there told you.
The ball is loose, but it was blown dead.
Right there.
Grudegood was the guy that made the stop on Adrian Peterson. The FedEx starting lineup. Here's the Big Eaters up.
Grudegood, another All-American.
Oh, and one of my favorite players of all time, Matt Grudegood.
They got a guy named Vince Carter. I mean, I would have been rooting for Oklahoma, I think.
James Bubba Moses is a tight end, and here's the receiver.
And a guy named Bubba Moses.
Jones and Wilson and Peoples and Bradley, they'll all see a lot of time for Chuck.
I mean, they really look like a big time team.
Second down and 10, no gain on the first play.
Everybody looked like a
play action, throwing and completing it out across the 25 to the 26.
That's a
So
tight
what's
throw right
going through
there.
your mind right now?
So now the Sooners have.
The first drive of the game is kind of a feeler out. You're getting ready for these guys.
Oh, so young, Shaun Cody.
Look at that picture.
Wow.
Pencil thin facial hair, Lofa Tatupu, Dallas Starks, Matt Grudig. Oh, this is an all-star cast, ladies and gentlemen.
The other outside linebacker.
Lofa's from Massachusetts.
Yep.
His dad coached there.
Ah.
He too was a freshman.
So I got him to Massachusetts.
This might have been like the first or second year of the Spider Cam too.
Peterson got a block across the 30, puts his head down.
That's got to be his biggest run of the game.
I think it was.
Oh, by far.
Did Shaun Cody miss the tackle there? Probably, right? No.
Let's not focus in on Shaun. Let's watch the defense as a collective today.
That Peterson guy looks pretty good.
He doesn't though.
Yeah, the thing I do remember about Adrian in that game, we were so jacked up and keyed up for him. It was like, we want to stop this kid, but just the physical nature of his running, I remember that. Just like, God, this guy runs like he's mad at us, and he just even though we were stopping him behind the line sometimes and keeping him for short games, he was just his aggression, his competitive nature just to run was something you remember.
Who was the scout team guy for him?
Oh, good question.
That's a good question. That wouldn't be no. Probably some star, soon-to-be star at USC.
Makes sense.
I mean, running backs you had on the team, young guys. You had Desmond Reed as a freshman. Lindell and Reggie are only sophomores.
Yeah.
Chauncey Washington as a sophomore. Herschel Dennis as a junior.
Maybe Desmond was giving us a look probably. And Desmond was a speedster too. So.
But he got hurt the following season in the Notre Dame game, right?
Yeah, that's when he had that misstep on that punt return.
It's that grass, the long grass.
The long grass.
They'll keep it on the ground. The handoff inside.
Nice play by Starks. Pinching down on that.
Isn't it? It's really pretty when you see a 4-3 defense working like that. I don't think there's anything prettier, right? Right, Shotgun, you see a 4-3 defense, just 4 down guys. You don't need 6 guys in the line to stop the run, man. You see 4 down guys, 3 linebackers, and it's pretty, man.
If you got 4 guys up front, it makes it so much easier if they can call some disruption.
Whenever I talked to Lofa, it was just a clean look for him. He's back there, he can see everything. It's not crowded up there, and it made it, I think, make play for him easy.
Hey, Dan, I tried to turn you up a little more. Try that out.
Okay. What I find interesting watching this game is we got 2 quarterbacks on the center.
Sarts is the guy that brings him down
look at it
eventually.
and, oh yeah, that's how we play football.
Sarts were
And
both there to
you
meet him
never
in the
see
hole.
that. I mean, ever. So we got 2 quarterbacks in the center.
Yeah, you know what? I think something, Dan, maybe check with Diane again. I feel like it's adjusting your microphone volume down. It's like an auto adjustment. So maybe check with her and see what is going on. It sounds like it's actually adjusting your microphone.
Out of the shotgun again.
That play right there was Shaun Cody clogging up the hole, getting a push.
Throws on the run, got a man open across the middle. Travis Wilson still on his feet, and he's down in USC territory at the 40.
Jason White wasn't known for being mobile, was he? Having a little bit of mobility at all?
He had that ACL injury.
That's right.
We weren't worried about his mobility.
But this is something that Jason White and his improved health
Not like the Oklahoma quarterbacks now.
has done better.
True. Staple of their offenses now.
Opportunities for his receivers who might be covered initially to get open right in the middle of the field.
So this is the first dance for the Sooners into USC.
We had a little pirate stunt on there. It's when you crash the end and the 3 techniques down and you loop the nose tackle around. That was kind of a staple of Pete Carroll's defenses at the time. He used to run that for run and pass a lot.
He got his hands on it, but it's incomplete. Justin Wyatt was covering. Mark Bradley, a guy that's been getting more and more dangerous as the season's gone along. Started off his career as a defensive back at OU. And now one of their top wide receivers.
Justin Wyatt.
Yeah. Eric Wright.
Eric Wright.
He was good.
Oh, yep. He was a player.
Eric Wright was only a freshman this game, too.
But then he transferred or whatever. And
yeah, he got some off-the-field trouble and ended up at UNLV.
But he made the NFL.
Yep.
Frosty Rucker. I just can't stress the importance enough of Lofa to on our defense. I know Lofa gets a lot of love, but he was definitely the brains of our operation. He used to, even in this game, I recall him calling out plays and getting us right in the right position. Lofa was really the Mr. Everything for our defense. And at the time, I thought Lofa obviously goes on to a great NFL career, but at the time he didn't get I thought the love he should have deserved.
Was he the mic on this defense?
Yeah.
The best competition.
But he's on the sideline now because Kewan Jones comes in and passes downs. And this is a 3rd and 8. 10th play of the Sooner drive. White with pressure this time. Steps up, throws, got a man. It's Bradley.
Oh, that guy's wide open.
Yeah.
Right down the back.
Jason White came out ready to play, guys.
He came out ready.
We got a camera down.
We'll see. They've got it spotted.
That was a good pass rush there, but
Yeah,
when you leave a guy wide open on the back end.
Yeah, he took a shot.
Out of bounds at the 7, 1st and goal. And he ran our camera guy over. You get a different look at him from
Greg Burns was probably coaching DBs at that time.
Yeah. Oh.
Whoop.
White just
Whoop,
buying
whoop.
some time and allowing Bradley to get open.
Is that
And then a great throw.
Wright fell down? It looked like. Is that right?
There's where you see him go out.
Was it 25? That's Alex
think-
Gomez.
Now and again.
He just barely stepped out before the ball came out.
1st and goal for the Sooners. Earliest opportunity to put points on the board for either team. Kewan Jones inside handoff. And he gets to the 5.
Oh, I remember the name Kewan Jones. I just remembered loving the name.
Kewan Jones, a guy that could probably start for any college team in the country. He was their leading rusher last year with almost 1,000. Kewan, a junior out of Tulsa.
Frosty Rucker.
Yeah.
Peterson comes back in now.
That's a young Frosty. I think on the other end we had a young Frosty and a young Lawrence Jackson.
They may, but most of the time when they're going to pass the ball, Kewan Jones is in the ball game.
Wilson and Clayton to the near side. Jones wide to the left, and that's Clayton in motion on 2nd.
See what Cody does here.
Blitz, play action.
Pete brings some.
To the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Jason
tight
White
window.
came out on fire.
Tight window. Good throw.
That was a tight window.
Dial up the pressure at the wrong time there, Pete.
Wilson from 5 yards.
So all I remember here is there was a lot of confidence going on. Hey Dan, let's bring you back. See what.
We keep trying. That was the highlight of White's
drive
night
to
as
open
well.
things up for
That was
Oklahoma.
it all goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast this game
That's
turned
just
around.
a great drive.
It was
More than
astonishing.
what- was it 90
I don't
yards?
know if I've ever seen
About
a big
92.
name turn around like
Hartley
this.
with a point after out of a Mark Bradley.
USC does have 11 players on the field for this extra point.
Oh,
Just
very
throwing it
nice.
out there.
Shade.
For more. Jason White
And I'm not
goes
even sure if they had a
touchdown pass
special
number
teams
34 of the
coordinator.
year in
I
the
think it was
biggest game
kind
of
of
the
a
year.
Ooh, it is a tight window.
Sooners coach is loving it. 7-0.
Yeah, that was a
Really good.
great drive by Jason White.
Everybody and pro players
What kind of-
fun, why not? Picture perfect.
We've moved ahead in the action.
Ironically, during
Oh.
7:38 remaining in the first quarter.
So this is a YouTube version of like the ESPN Classic. So yeah, it's all cut up.
A copy of a copy.
And we'll do what we can to watch.
What kind of adjustments did you guys make after that first drive, Shaun? Was there anything specific?
play action for Leinart.
Not anything that I recall. You know, it was. I mean, like you said, I just think Jason White had a good drive there. He found some tight windows and made some throws. A couple guys open in the back end. They probably cleaned that up on the back end. We felt confident. They had one run. Probably Ed Ogeron probably just screaming at us about getting one pass like usual. So it was, if we're not getting home, we weren't doing our job.
While pounding a couple Red Bulls.
Oh yeah, and dipping coffee grinds.
A bunch of young players, freshmen and sophomores in the skill positions, playing along with Matt Leinart.
First down at the 37. Here's the give to Reggie Bush. And he slipped and went down.
Oh,
Nice
had a little bit of space.
Alexander, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, they're clearing out that right side there pretty good. I just love what's better than a little run game and some play action pass, man. I know that's Norm Chow offense here.
Old school.
Be more aggressive.
You can see him setting them up like chess
Second
pieces.
down, and like I said, try to
You know,
stay away
it's
from
so
the
much
third
easier to
and
do
longs,
that
where
out of the
Oklahoma really comes
with
alive.
the
I saw
quarterback
Norm
under
about
the
5
center.
minutes
Yeah.
before the kickoff. I said, good luck, coach. Have fun. He said, have what? I said, have fun. And he
Dwayne Jarrett was also
as if he had
just
bad chili.
an absolute beast.
Awfully good
You
pressure.
said that to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
He's working.
Oklahoma crowd comes to life and whistles stop play here.
If you guys watching have questions for Shaun, put them in the comment box and either Ryan or I can relay them to him.
Yes.
I'm getting all my comments from former teammates. Tell them to talk about them more. Hey, you didn't mention my great play right there, man.
Oh, Shaun, I do have a request. My buddy Bill Rockowitz, it was his birthday yesterday. He just wanted a shout out from you. So if you could say happy birthday to Bill, that'd be great.
Bill, on this wonderful Saturday, we're watching Trojan football. I'd like to wish you a happy birthday, buddy. Way to go.
All right, you just made his month or probably
Wow.
year. So, yeah.
All right, clip that for him there, Ryan. Got to go.
Receiver on the left side. Now he's a slot man, actually. On 2nd and 15.
They're so far off the line of scrimmage for the receivers that are off.
Throws Reggie Bush in the flat, but there's 2 Sooners waiting for him, and Antonio Perkins and Brodney Poole with a couple.
It's so funny to watch these old games and see the styles of defenses and how they change and how the offenses have changed. It seems like we're playing years ago. And watching these games and you see where the offenses and defenses are so far advanced.
But I don't know that the hitting is advanced. That's the thing. This game, you saw a lot of real
He's a great wide receiver.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of rules about concussions then.
That was one of the things we were watching last week in the 1978 game was to see how many potential targeting calls there might have been.
Yeah.
If that was called in. Roll out. Time.
Did he throw a shot out near midfield, and he got it to Steve Smith. Great throw on 3rd and 11.
I was always amazed how Leinart had always created so much space on those rollouts. You knew it was coming too. I mean, you watched it every week. You knew they were going to play action pass, and he was going to boot out, and he would just be standing there like a statue, always just with no one around him.
Well, I think you really had to respect the run game.
Makes a nice catch. He missed the first 5 games of the year with a broken leg, a slight break in his leg. Poole brings him down, but it's still a first down.
That was a good break on the ball by Poole, too.
Now play action. Leinart lofts one out. Got him inside the 35 to the 33 to the tight end Bird. First down pass.
Dominic Bird was a stud, too.
Yeah, he had a big ball game here, if I recall, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Catch of the year. He likewise missed 4 games with some.
Talk to Alex Holmes, he'll tell you he had the big game.
How prolific he is as a pass-catching tight end.
Was there a bigger partier on the team than Alex Holmes? Was he like?
Maybe a bigger partier, but not a more well-connected man in the streets of Los Angeles than Alex Holmes.
Down to the 33 of the Sooners. First down.
You need something, you call Alex Holmes. He'll get you in the right direction.
Reggie split out.
Kirkman in the backfield. Leinart rolls, throws deep, got him in, touchdown.
Oh, nice play.
That was one-handed, right?
That was
great.
one-handed
Yeah,
before
he did
Odell
that.
Beckham.
He did that in the fog. He did it
33 yards.
Great in-flight adjustment on that one.
Yeah, definitely. To be able to turn your body in the air. And, I mean, you look at Dominic Bird, he didn't look like the greatest athlete. He wasn't well chiseled or anything. But like you see him on the basketball court, he was a hell of an athlete. He could make all kinds of moves. And Leinart with a dime right there, rolling out his strong side, making it look easy.
As you were starting to talk about Dominic Bird, I was about to say, I bet he was a good basketball player.
Yeah, he was I mean, like I said, you looked at him, he didn't have much of a body. He wasn't like a sculpted Brandon Hancock, but he was definitely an athlete. There was definitely an athlete in there in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he was like a 6'1", 6'2" tight end. I mean, you don't see those guys anymore.
Oh, good news. The Braves have named Chipper Jones as special assistant to the organization. Glad to see the Chipper staying with the Braves organization.
Yeah, so this was taped from a few years ago. Like I think one of the crawls it shows like Kyler Murray was transferring and stuff like that. So this is a broadcast from a few years ago. So you can see on the crawl down below.
Big T on YouTube wants to know what you ate for breakfast that day, Shaun.
Probably my classic standard breakfast omelet. A little light cheese, light ham.
The kick is up and it's good.
If the game was later, like one of these games, I might have mixed in some spaghetti for the
Over 3 minutes to go, 75 yards to the Heisman Trophy winner.
I'm sure the nutrition.
Spaghetti for breakfast?
Touchdown pass.
Yeah, I mean just with the carbs.
Free spiral there. Ooh.
And that's another back leg
first quarter.
He's,
The 71st FedEx
back
Orange Bowl.
leg and couldn't throw it any better.
Thing is, it makes it so much easier as a quarterback when you can just throw it to that vacated spot and a guy can go make a play on it versus, hey, I got to put it where he can catch it. type of thing. So you just throw it up and okay, there's nobody there. My guy's going to catch it or nobody is.
Yeah, a lot less to risk.
Because he could try to throw that over the middle, but then he's throwing it more over his body, more across his body, and then also there's another safety potentially coming over from the other side.
Yeah, he's more throwing it to an area than to a guy.
You see how he kind of slowed up?
5 for 5 on that drive.
That's my QB expertise knowledge there.
And for Oklahoma's defense, that's the first touchdown they've allowed in the last 39 possessions. That goes way.
Those are also the quarterbacks that are the most frustrating when you're a defender. You think you got good coverage on somebody, and you're just like, what, how did you throw it there? That didn't make any sense.
And that's the first, as you said, touchdown they've given up in 39 straight possessions.
This guy's fast.
Hadn't played anybody like USC, obviously hadn't. And it was just, it's just hard to get ready after you come out of the back camp of the Big 12 to get ready for a USC team with the kind of talent this USC team has.
This is a Southeastern Conference crew. Steve Shaw working his second national championship. And he's got the call coming up for us right now.
During the return, holding number 48 on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st and 10.
So Bob Stoops, who just
Someone on YouTube said that we had odd-bodied tight ends in Bird and Holmes.
No question.
Saw USC go 75 yards to tie it. Our aerial coverage is courtesy.
Yeah, they didn't look like Daniel Imator Baby, that's for sure.
Peace of mind on Goodyear's new Assurance tires, giving us great shots.
All right, let's see what Shaun does this drive.
Let's put the circle on Shaun. Maybe this is a big one. Am I in?
So they work from their own 15. Quick throw.
Spin move there?
I think he did a spin move, yeah.
At the time.
Who would get double teamed the most, Shaun?
I mean,
Don't be surprised to see some balls start.
the nose tackle typically in a 4-3 gets most double teams, so Mike Patterson would probably get the most double teams.
Trojans were first in the Pac-10.
Third team All-American.
Yeah, Mike was a stud, a force to be reckoned with on Mike Patterson.
2nd and 4. Adrian Peterson. Pollard.
We're actually filled with the team of bad body guys that could just play football, I think.
Yeah, I always one of the interesting things was Lofa and Rudiger were both quarterbacks.
Says, if I can win a national title,
they end up as
Dad's getting that
linebackers.
ring.
Who could diagnose whatever was. I thought their being quarterbacks really helped them to play defense in college.
Yeah, that's a great point, Dan, because Lofa would always remind me of he played quarterback in high school.
Interesting. The Song Girls has specific Orange Bowl sweaters. I thought it was just for the Rose Bowl if they had special sweaters.
Jason White's in the shotgun. White gets protection, throws, almost intercepted. And Matt Grudegood had his hands on it. Grudegood leads.
How much does it change things for you, Shaun, when you have a really good nose tackle beside you?
Oh, well, it takes a lot of pressure off that. Well, that's what Mike did for the whole defense. You know, he created that double team, made Lofa's looks a lot easier, Grudegood's looks a lot easier, and definitely that gave me more of a one-on-one on the guard than having to worry about that center coming back, because they had to deal with Mike all the time. And, you know, his leverage and his ability to play at that low level and get under people was kind of his deal. But did you see Matt Grudegood's helmet, how small? He looked like he was playing in the 1950s. Matt Grudegood, maybe the greatest high school player of all time.
He was really.
Reggie Bush is going to have
They
a
played
chance.
the
27.
I'm trying to think of
All-American
from doing that.
Ooh, good coverage.
Made a great open field
And Matt Grudegood knocked him about 6 feet in the air in the game. I mean, it was
but only a
one of the
6-yard
greatest
return.
hits I've ever
We've
seen
got
at
a
any
lot of
level of
Oklahoma
football. He was
fans
amazing.
here at Pro Player
And he
Stadium.
probably
We've got
wasn't
them
6
all
feet
over the
tall.
world tonight.
Yeah, Matt was he single-handedly beat Long Beach probably as well.
Muskogee, Oklahoma. We're with the 2nd Brigade, Blackjack Brigade from 1st Cavalry Division. We're stationed in Mahmadiyah, Iraq. We're here to celebrate the Sooners.
Mahmadiyah.
Let's take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook.
Gap control is what Pete Carroll.
Where's that USC serviceman at? What the heck?
Everybody's in a gap. Watch the two linebackers. They're going to come up late and get in those gaps right there where the ball carrier. See that big hole there? Now watch the two linebackers. They both come up and fill. Gap control.
Not
Also
great
a good-
hands with their shotgun.
I was about to say, good job by Shaun as well.
I didn't
Pushing the
like
guy
my
back and then
Stopped Adrian Peterson, that's for sure.
But I mean,
but you get off of him and push
I like
the
that
play
full
back
extension
inside.
Shotgun.
that's Adrian Peterson.
Across that body and get in that hole and make a play
Against
there.
nothing. I mean,
Ideally.
Shoot out for that play.
Just
he's
inside
down.
their own 34-yard line, and Lendale White is in the backfield. Been nursing a high ankle sprain since the UCLA game. He gets the call, slashing off the right side. That ankle feels pretty good right now.
That's a big man going fast.
Andre Nicholson made the tackle, but
And then stepping over somebody. Classic Lindale fashion.
Add another bad body guy.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week when he got down to South Florida, he
Don't tell Double A Aaron Offness about our bad bodies.
I don't think you've seen him for a lot of plays in succession.
Double A, if you're
That's one of
watching.
the That's one of the reasons in the build-up, because your practice is open, and a lot of people looked at USC and said, man, they don't look like Oklahoma.
Reggie Bush in
And
the
they didn't.
backfield, three wide
They
outs
just
from
played a
outside.
lot better, but
Draw play to Bush. In a lot of traffic, and the Sooners aren't going to let him go. Rodney Poole.
That's a play that is not a part of the USC playbook anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell that these two
Little
teams
draw,
all
delay kind of thing.
28 and
Norm's still getting his feelers out there.
well, it's hard to run that out of the shotgun.
You can still run a draw out of the
You
shotgun.
can run it, but it doesn't have the same ability to, throw off the defense.
Well, as a defensive lineman, you see shotgun, you're thinking pass rush. So it can't help you sometimes, but it's also a high alert for the only thing that can really run out of this is draw.
Here comes the noise again from the Oklahoma fans.
Because shotgun used to be just pass, and now you run everything out of shotgun.
It's got pressure and it's swatted away. Clint Ingram, the outside linebacker, came in along with Lance Mitchell, the middleman, and Ingram got a hand on it.
So Greg on YouTube wants to know if you recall how good this Oklahoma team was versus the other teams you played this year. Do you think that they were better than the teams you played or a little overrated in comparison?
There were some players that were better than the players that we had played against in the Pac-12. But when we played, it was never really about the other teams when we played with Pete Carroll. It was always about our preparation, what we were going to do. You didn't really pay attention to, obviously you watched film and those things, but you didn't really pay attention to what the other team was doing. You were just worried about your job and going 100 miles an hour, like I said. It was a rare thing that Pete could get you so focused in on your job that you weren't worried about who you were really playing against.
And here we go.
Toby Keith. It was interesting on 3rd and 11. They only ran a two-man route. What would they roll out and only ran a two-man route?
I don't remember if they go for it here. It's like 4th and 2 or something. Of course, they cut away to some interview. Oh, no, they punt.
Please don't interrupt Toby Keith anymore.
Tom Malone.
Tom the Bomb.
Is this the play of the game, I think, right here?
Oh, this was yeah.
This is it. Pay attention.
Ruh-roh.
What are you doing? Why would you even – what?
They try to explain it by saying they thought it hit a USC cover guy, and that Oklahoma was going to get the ball no matter what.
Bo Pelini.
Oh, Bo Pelini's mad.
That's one of my favorite parts of watching the older games is when you see current or former head coaches as assistants on the sidelines. You're like, look, Bo Pelini. Like he was like a tight ends coach or something, He wasn't that, but whatever he was.
But with the crazy bounce it took, better to just keep your hands off it. You don't want to turn it over. And now
Yeah, I remember just the sideline erupting after this one, guys. When we got the ball here, this really, everyone kind of knows this kind of the play that changed the whole outcome here.
The sudden change kind of stuff, just
Number 22 red did not hit in the back. During the play, there was a fumble. It was recovered by
Great job by Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, the super.
Gunner, what are you doing?
Look at how many guys are on this ball. Right? Look at that.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you follow Johnny Walker on Twitter? He's like a big time trainer now.
Does he wear that many wristbands still?
I think he's doing that. Yeah, I think he wears a lot.
Nah, Johnny Walker's a great guy. I've seen what he does. He does some fantastic work, and his pecs are incredible.
First and goal, Trojans at the Oklahoma 6-yard line. Lendale White up the middle. Lendale White.
Boom, 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 boom.
Break.
In, touchdown, USC.
Wow.
I think
Could
that was
have been a tackle for loss. Instead, touchdown.
Yeah.
There,
That's Lendale. That's why he scored, 52 touchdowns in his career?
that was a picture I think that was used quite a bit, him reaching the ball over the goal line. That was like a common picture from this game.
I would have had a good shot of that. I'm just saying.
Debatable.
Yeah, it was a lot of build-up for Adrian Peterson in this one, guys, game. But this Lendale White, we had our own stable of backfield that was pretty impressive.
So I think the sense after, like, I still think Oklahoma felt pretty good because you could look at that like, oh, that was a lucky one-handed catch, and oh, we just turned the ball over inside our 5. We'll be fine. You know, I think there was still that kind of sense. But little did they know.
I think we felt like, I don't know what the fan sense was, but our feeling was like we can throw a knockout punch here. If we can pin them here, have a good defensive stance, get our offense the ball again, we can really turn the tide of this game. And that's how I think we felt on the sideline.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I'm gonna have to message Johnny Walker and say, hey, did you actually touch that punt before the Oklahoma guy did? It didn't look like it. I don't know, but that was
the replay looks like it did not.
Yeah.
Colin Ashton with a strip there on that play too.
Colin Ashton. Wow. Yeah.
Maybe the length of a hand. That's how close it was. But what a way to go over 1,000 yards with a 6-yard in one play.
It's like the boxing corner man touched him up.
Tino Dominguez out there. I see you, Tino.
He's still there. He's still around.
It's got to be tough, but he's just trying to make a play. And, you know, the players know the rules. Bob Stoops handles the punt teams, the special teams, punt teams. And, you know, he tells those players.
You like pounding the ball in there with Lendale White. You know, I'd like to see a lot more Marquis Step coming up this year there, guys.
Yeah.
Lendale had the best feet. You couldn't quantify how he did what he did with his feet to get him where he got. So he was amazing.
A lot of people in the YouTube comments have been saying Step could be a Lendale type.
I mean, he took some really big strides those 4 games when he started playing more and more before the injury.
They started getting more confidence in him, and you have to, as the running back, you got to build that confidence with your coaches. Obviously, you know, watching Fox and all of us media types, you know, saying, oh, maybe they should give him the ball. But as a coach, you really got to, you have to trust that running back. He's going to do his job. Hold on to the ball, block for your quarterback. There's a lot that goes into running back, and I think they started to develop that confidence with him. Unfortunately, he has that injury, but you can see that they were ready to kind of move in that direction. So hopefully he can get that contract this year.
That Notre Dame game was really the turning point for him last season.
When you get to go home, play in front of the home fans.
Yep.
Not to go self-plug here, guys, but Shaun Cody's moving out to defensive end this series. That just speaks to his versatility. That was a selling point for my agent in the NFL draft.
Oh, really?
Did you end up playing much end? Did you end up moving around a lot in the NFL?
I played some end in the NFL, only in rarer circumstances, but.
What are your plans this year, Shaun, if we have a college football season? You're still going to be in the booth and everything? Is that the kind of plan on the radio broadcast?
Yeah, that's the plan going forward. Obviously, you know, we're all pulling for JJ's recovery, him to get back in there and get back to work. But we'll see what happens. You know, I enjoyed doing what I did this year, and it was fun. I had a good time. I think I got better as the year went on, but it was a good time.
Nice.
We've moved ahead.
Oh, wow. Whiplash.
Yeah, this was
a little whiplash.
Not a wise
I talked to JJ yesterday, actually, so he seemed to be doing a lot better. So Yeah, it's good stuff. So I'm glad to see him, getting healthy after recovering from the stroke. So.
Yeah, legend like that and broadcasting in Southern California, you're always pulling from. JJ used to do my high school games. He's been at USC forever, so it's good to see him get back up.
Oh, what was he seeing on that throw?
Just 5 defenders, no big deal.
Yeah.
He got busted twice trying to release, and then 4 guys were covering him when the ball comes down.
That was a freshman throw from a guy who won a Heisman Trophy the season before.
Yeah.
Probably speaks to the adjustments Pete Carroll made on the back end after that first drive, too.
I mean, Shaun, that was part of your defenses, though. You guys just forced so many turnovers. It was crazy.
Ooh. That one looked like it hurt. Oh, come on. Catch the ball. Catch the ball.
And there was a bullseye on the back of Matt Leinert's back.
Yeah, a couple of things.
I'm assuming Leinart was also in the huddle after this play to say, catch the ball. Did you see the hit I took? Catch the ball.
Well, I mean, nobody ever gets to him. That was one of the few times somebody got to him.
Yeah, that was a big shot. Just for him to get that one off. Look at big Lynn Magruder. I think with Lynn Magruder for the Detroit Lions. Boo-boo.
That's also like, if he gets his arm hit there, that can be a game-changing play because you're right at the goal line.
Yeah, just like what happened to Keaton this year.
On 2nd down and 10. Lindale White, big opening for White. He's got a first down and more.
When you can do that on 2nd and 10, that's a difference maker,
And he hadn't even practiced. I mean, basically, he watched most of the practices on that ankle, so nobody knew if he was really going to be able to play.
Yeah, he had that high ankle sprain, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, good block by the center there, Khalil.
Nice big hole there for Lindell. He took it. He was such a load to tackle, too. It wasn't fun tackling Lindell.
Did you do a lot in practice, having to tackle him?
Yeah, we did. It was him chasing Reggie around and trying to bring Lindell down was not fun. Reggie would extend plays like 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and big lineman running around is not good.
And they're just sophomores. That's the thing. Just sophomores.
Yeah. I remember yelling at Reggie, knock that crap off, man. You can't be running around back and forth. You're supposed to run the zone play and stay on the same side. And I'd be like, what are we doing here, man? Come on.
Todd McNair.
Wow.
David Kurtman, great fullback.
Oh, he was great. Very unheralded. I mean, just underrated guy. He was just, yeah.
Great special teams fullback guy, Kurtman. Lee Webb.
Jody Adewale was on your teams or no?
Yeah, Jody was on the team.
Yeah. He's Jody's he's a therapist now. Like he's a mental health specialist. And,
I see Jody a lot. Jody's at the games all the time.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast like last year. It was pretty cool.
Jarrett running a stop route against Antonio Perkins. Perkins is a very experienced fifth-year senior with 11 interceptions to his credit, and Jarrett is a true freshman, and Matt Leinart threw that on the safe side.
Yep, he did.
Threw it away from the defensive back.
Now here's 3rd down and 8. USC 43% of the 3rd down conversions.
Big 3rd down here. Tight ball game.
They zoomed in on Jarrett. Where does they go there? Do they go to Jarrett? Let's see.
Oh, motion.
Empty.
Yep. Jarrett.
1v1.
Sort of like 4th and 9 that a year later.
Make a play.
Nice when you have freshmen and you can just throw the ball up to like that.
And make it look that easy. I mean, really.
And everybody knew that was going to happen, too.
Yeah, they showed Jarrett like before the play. It was like they're probably going to throw it here. They clear out that side of the field.
It's so difficult because you have Reggie and you send him in motion, and you have 3 guys on the other side that could potentially be blockers. Even you throw something quick to Reggie and let him do his magic. Big boy throw.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah, we're feeling good here, guys. We're feeling pretty fired up. How did they forget about Jarrett? Didn't he just get the first down? They just let him run that route, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that was
double move.
I think that was a key drive too, though, because like Shotgun said, it could have been a turnover. When you hit Leinart and stuff, and it was 3rd and 8, and you give it up, and then one play later, boom! It's just this team was so dangerous. If you gave them an inch, like you were screwed. Like they were any second chance you gave this team, it was like giving up an offensive rebound or something. It was going to be a 3 or a dunk right on you, and that's just what this team did.
I mean, it was hard to play USC because they had so many playmakers. I mean, that's just guys everywhere you go. There's guys making plays. I mean, it's just...
And the thing that's backbreaking for a defense like Oklahoma is big plays, explosive plays. The one to Dominique Byrd, the one to Jarrett. Those are big, like, backbreakers. On defense, you're on the sideline like, man, we can't play defense if we're just going to give up these big plays. And it kind of leads to an atmosphere of like, oh, man, how do we stop these guys? So those chunk plays really hurt.
I mean, they hadn't played anybody all year who could make plays like that. I mean, it's really hard to be ready in that one big bowl game when you haven't seen anybody with the kind of weapons USC has. I mean, all these guys were, top draft picks, and some of them All-Americans, and they're just like, what the heck's going on?
Oh, USC basketball beat Cal Poly on this day. Notable since USC eventually lost to Cal Poly in the dreaded 36-29 game under Kevin O'Neal.
Ooh.
Shaun, Justin wanted to know on YouTube, what was Coach Carroll's recruiting pitch to you, and did he emphasize anything in particular?
Well, I was a 5-star. I was a giant recruit, so trying to land me was a big deal. No, Pete came in. The thing about Pete was, he was just preached defense to me. He had a vision for what his defense wanted to be. Ed Ogeron was obviously critical in recruiting me and getting me to USC. But I just remember Pete just having this vision at USC and what do you want to do as a defense and how I would fit into it, and that's what kind of really sold me. And I decided I wanted to bring USC football back like he told me.
Well, and you picked them over Notre Dame too. That was a big switch for you coming here instead of going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, especially with that rivalry built in, it was definitely a big moment. It was, I was looking at both schools really hard, and basically just came down to what Pete Carroll and Ed Ogeron were selling and what the vision of the program was going to be. But I took a lot of heat for going to USC at the time because the program was kind of floundering. The heck years weren't great. I remember being on the recruiting circuits and guys were like, "You're going to USC? Why are you going to USC?" The big move was to go to Miami and Florida State and Notre Dame, but everyone was wondering why. But I could see the vision that those guys were putting together.
Were you the same year as Lorenzo Booker? Or no, he was a year after you, I think.
Yeah, I think he was the big recruit the year after, I think.
Because he was like one of the top players, if not the number one player in the country, and he chose Florida State from out here.
Yeah.
So I had football camp at Florida State that summer, and got to see him like his first days on campus.
Yeah, I remember him being a big recruit that we didn't get. But I had buddies that went out of state, and it never seemed like they had a great experience. So that was one of the factors too. I thought staying home was a lot easier.
Watching Mark Clayton slip and fall down on the replay before. What happened was on the field, which is very good.
That's a late hit.
Let you do that. Yeah, let you do that a little more now. Then
that would have been targeting. I would have missed out 3 games.
Lawrence Jackson might have also got a penalty too for diving at the ankles there.
Yeah, it was a no holds bar back in the day. You could bring a chair, you could drop it.
Steel cage match.
That was from defensive end guys, just to let you know.
Started cutting guys. The offensive line using cut blocks.
Yeah, they were trying to get the ball way quicker. Jason White was starting to take some shots here.
How old were you when you started getting recruited? Like, what grade were you in? How different is that from now, since kids are, 8th graders get offers and stuff now, if not even earlier?
Yeah, no, we started getting letters and maybe my junior year. I had a big junior year, and it started to kind of trickle in my junior year, and then it turned into like a wild, crazy show after like a few months. And now, like you said, now you guys are making their own highlight tapes and films. Eric Wright.
Yeah, Eric Wright was the guy that fell down in the other one, the big play. So he made up for it there.
Like somebody got a good block on Jason White after the interception as well.
Jeez.
And knocked
that
it
was
down
one.
on the throw.
That was one of our drills in practice. Was after interception, go block the quarterback.
Also now a penalty again.
Yeah, it was. Everyone turned and ran at the quarterback.
White's game in this BCS National Championship.
Oh, you got a little shot in on him there.
The body roll there.
Was going for that ACL, guys.
I mean, that poor kid had so many injuries anyway. I mean, he was barely patched together.
The I formation, motion near, pull the guard. That's old school football, baby.
This is
with the offset eye. Not only do you not see the I formation very often anymore, you really don't see the offset eyes very often.
No.
Yeah.
Where you got the true fullback out in the front.
What's funny is you watch it now; it's like so predictable what exactly is going to happen in the play. And that's why no one runs that crap anymore.
Except
Alex Holmes in the backfield.
Now you got pro set.
Made a big difference.
Yeah, they had Alex Holmes in the backfield. That was weird. They throw it to him? Yeah.
Dangerous.
Text Alex right now. Tell him he just dropped the pass.
Oh, man. He just dropped the pass for a game.
That quiets things down with a third down coming up.
Alex Holmes is a great blocker too. Not a lot of people know that. Big Alex gets hands on. You had some strong mitts on him, old Alex.
Who's a better blocker, Alex or Khaled?
I'm sure that's a family debate.
Oh, get into it.
Oh. Reggie's not going to throw a punch.
Great reaction.
Some guy, you put those helmets on, man, they get a lot tougher.
This is great having you on. This is way better than us.
Yeah.
Got a fullback split out over there to the left. Good catch.
Steve Smith, one of my favorite wide receivers at USC. Steve Smith and Kerry Colbert, probably my two go-tos. I'd like some Michael Williams too.
Yeah, I don't think they recognized how good Steve Smith was. When they analyzed his game, they said Oklahoma has by far the better receiving corps, and that wasn't even close to being true. They just didn't know. Because he had only played half the season.
Yeah, Steve was off to a great NFL career. Unfortunately, injuries derailed that, but Steve was a player, man.
Probably had to do with the fact that the disparity in talent belief, I guess, would be that all USC's receivers were young this year. I mean, Smith, Whitney Lewis, Dwayne Jarrett, Christian Allen, Will Smith, all those guys are freshmen and sophomore. Jason Mitchell's a senior, and CJ Brewer and Will Buchanan were the only juniors. So not a lot of old guys in the group.
Yeah, what's funny is we didn't see any of those guys as young guys either. I mean, after the first couple of games, they were an integral part of the offense. So I remember after that, they were just part of the guys on the team. They weren't viewed as young guys; they were just playmakers for us. So we treated them as such.
Big T on YouTube wanted to know, when did you think that the game was over? When did you know?
The game wasn't over until I got a sack. I wanted to get a sack. I wanted to get a sack in the national championship game. Then I was like, I'll shut it down after that. But it was still we were still playing here.
This might be the drive you get one.
Oklahoma offensively averaged 36 points per game.
Yeah, that Eric Wright interception was a really backbreaker right there. Backed up for him, set up a touchdown for it. That was probably obviously the muff punt, but the backbreaker I think was that Eric Wright interception and deep in their zone.
because now you're really getting into the area where is Adrian Peterson even usable? You know, you're down 21. You're getting close. You're about halfway through. You got about 6 more minutes where, you know, if the score holds, you can still run the ball. But then after that, you got to start throwing it more and more.
And that's why we as a defense were so good, because Pete knew that too. Pete knew at the time, hey, Ed Orgeron's tells us, pin your ears back. You know, they can't go with the run anymore, and that helps you. That was a lot of the formula for our defenses. That's why you want to stop. So they have to do that. And when we had those 4-man fronts like that could rush, let's get to that as fast as possible.
Incidental face mask, number 90 on the defense.
Oh, Frosty.
From the end of the run. Repeat second down.
Incidental.
This is also in this era versus current times. I mean, 21 points is more like 35 now, just with the pace of the game that you have versus, you know, how quickly teams want to snap the ball these days.
Look how young Shaq looks.
That's your key takeaway, Ryan, how young everyone looks.
Yeah.
That was my idol, Shaq, man. I watched Kazam. I got his book. I was a big Shaq guy, man.
Wait, did you have the Shaq Fu video game?
I had the video game, man. I was a big Shaq guy.
Did you get a chance to talk to him at all?
I missed that era of big man basketball. I think I said what's up. I was probably starstruck at the time.
Shaq and Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat's 14-game winning streak stopped last night by the Seattle.
Coley wants to know, was the Oklahoma line chippy at all? Were they talking trash? What was like their vibe?
No, it was pretty workmanlike. You know, I remember at the end of the game when it started to get out of hand, it was more like, hey, let's everyone stay safe and not get hurt kind of vibe. they kind of called off the dogs. I remember them saying, all right, guys, let's turn it down a little bit, because we were like programmed animals, man. We would go out there. There was no stopping us. We were getting yelled at the sideline. We were still going. So they were definitely they were ready to call off the game.
Just going for the ball, they see it very good.
Remember the first drive of the night.
Rudiger's instincts are just ridiculous.
Just a football player, Shotgun. Just a freaking football player, man.
He just breaks on everything. Like it just seems like a tenth of a second quicker than anyone else.
Yeah, that will possession was set up, you know, to make a lot of plays in that defense too. And he was definitely, it was like having another safety roll down kind of guy, but he definitely knew how to play that position.
I think that was a tackle for loss for Shaun.
I didn't want to say it, Ryan, but
Matt Rudiger was the guy. I never saw a guy who could do this to a quarterback. He would purposely go the wrong way, knowing where the ball was going, and make the quarterback think he didn't know where it was going. It was amazing. I've never seen anybody do that.
That's Ed Reed level. If you've seen some of the stories of Peyton Manning and Brady talking about what Ed Reed would do. Just stiff arm.
Keith Rivers out there. I see you, Keith.
True freshman wearing the 55 jersey.
They just need to start making some plays from behind the offense. The protection. Bradley's going across, breaks the tackle by Wyatt.
Not enough pass rush there, guys.
Yeah, that was a good pocket by the O-line.
Average field position, their own 18-yard line.
Shotgun would have gave me a negative on that one.
Can't get out of those pass lanes. Ooh.
Who was that? Oh.
Wow.
There he is.
There you go, man. There it is. All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
We got to work on that sack dance a little bit.
I just terrible pass rush, and then I came back. Oh, the sack dance was just pure emotion. I didn't plan. I had no planning at that age, but definitely just pure emotions there coming through.
Was that a zone blitz? That looked like Boris Jackson was backing up.
We had a zone blitz coming from the right side. Basically, those guys just pushed. All I had to do was run outside to contain, and they just pushed them right to me. Basically, the sack of my career. But hey, I kept contain out there. Do you see that? That's an important.
It's a good thing. Good thing it was Jason
keeping contained.
Good thing it was Jason White, not Kyler Murray.
Yeah, exactly.
At what point do you start thinking about like your celebration? Does that like go through? Or is it just like a natural reaction?
I probably had something planned out in my head, and it all went for naught when the moment actually happened.
Yeah.
I was probably, I don't know. There was no cool. I don't remember them being cool dance moves. Maybe the Roger Rabbit at the time. I don't know what was cool back then.
Oh, that was a weird one.
Yeah, and he hit his hand on Peterson's head.
Wow.
Doesn't know who to pick up, doesn't know who to drop.
3rd and 15. White waits, scrambles.
Oklahoma kept extra blockers in.
Lost contain though.
That's why Kewan Jones is in passing situations.
That them Darnell Bing.
On 3rd and 15, the Sooners get 25 at a first down.
Well, when White starts scrambling, Kewan Jones is going to go straight down the middle of the field. He stops there and then he starts scrambling. Now watch Kewan Jones. Right down the middle of the field he goes.
3 wide receivers trot out.
Yeah, a big emphasis on with Pete Carroll's defense is always staying behind the last guy. We give up plays sometimes. We melt down the field a bit, but as long as we didn't let big plays happen, we had a chart that kept big plays for running and big plays for passing. Chart, if we accomplish it every week, we get a star on it, and that was an important to our defense, is not giving up big plays and staying behind the deepest of the deepest.
Clayton in motion. Draw play, Kewan Jones. Broke one tackle, skips down, and falls forward near the 10.
Oh, that last play, look at how easily Matt Thurgood makes the open field tackle on Peterson. I mean, he just takes him down. I mean, that's a big part, that one-on-one tackle.
That's true. But I think you got to get something.
A little bit of disbelief, it looks like, in Adrian Peterson's eyes.
Yep.
That would be another negative for your team. You need to get some points out of
Dan, I don't know if you remember, had Peterson been shut down at all this as a freshman? Was there any games you remember?
No, he had the biggest freshman year in history, 1,800 yards, 1,800 plus yards. So he was one of the best freshman running back in NCAA history. So nobody has.
Oh.
By Justin Wyatt, and it's a loss of 2.
The Sooners are going through the motions.
It also looked like the defensively they had a little bit of confusion before the snap there. Didn't matter.
And they'll bring out the field goal unit following this.
Good read. Terrible block.
Look at him beat the block.
Yeah.
That's a garbage block too.
Yeah. It's a lot of wide receivers block like that.
Attempted a collegiate field goal.
What a good job beating it there.
This will be a 29-yard attempt from the right hash. The kick on the way.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a freshman there. He knocked that thing through.
Buckets.
That's another one too, though. I don't think you got to score a touchdown there. Like if you're Oklahoma, just the way it's rolling, like there's no way you can kick a field goal in that situation. So again, just these little plays, and then like you do that, and then USC takes advantage of it.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch how much the game has changed. Just seeing them, like you said, kicking a field goal there is quite wild.
In the house. Of course, Shaquille O'Neal is holding court here as well, and Puff Daddy. If that wasn't enough, Pat
Ryan, do all those guys look young?
They look young. He looks young too. I don't even remember him. Mickey Mouse looks young.
Robert on YouTube wanted to know, can you hear the fight songs while you're playing? And if so, was Oklahoma's fight song annoying knowing you guys were dominating?
No, I don't hear anything. I wasn't listening to anything about playing.
But for non-players, USC band was dominated in this game. You can't even remember what the Oklahoma fight and a boot was or whatever. But
don't tell Dr. Barton I said that.
All you end up hearing is the USC man. I mean, it's just absolutely dominant.
I might have a minor injury if I was on the kickoff return unit when Reggie was on the other end.
Pretty. I like seeing those. I think they ran a couple weeks ago. There was a big highlight clip of Reggie on Twitter, I think, and I was watching it, man. Some of the moves he could do is pretty spectacular stuff.
Especially if you're trying to cover on a punt or a kickoff return, like it just seems unfair because you're trying to sprint full speed, so much space. Like there's just no chance I'm making a tackle on that.
That's a good point. You might have it. At the 21, Leinert's having a good game. 3 touchdowns already. This one dropped by Jarrett. Incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Poor blocking there. Come on, offensive line.
2nd down and 10. Toss to Bush.
Crackback.
Now he's free. Reggie Bush across the 40.
Big John Drake. Was that John Drake leading the way?
I think it was.
Dominic Byrd had a big crackback. He didn't even get the guy great. But he just completely collapsed the entire end of the line of scrimmage for Oklahoma.
Again, I think that's what made part of this USC offense so dominating was you, again, on 2nd and 10, you can not only just pick up a first down by running the ball, but a huge chunk play. And like that was just,
watch Bird at the top. He throws it into another guy.
It didn't take much to spring Reggie there.
No.
First down at the 35. Trojans could do more damage before halftime. Inside handoff to Bird. The tight end.
Oh, interesting.
What is that?
Yeah.
Tight end inside zone?
Yep.
I don't like that. Throw that one out.
That was Lane's contribution, I think.
Oh, come on, Dan. That's not fair.
From this USC offense this year. The quarterback and the right guard, Matula. And the offensive coordinator, which is probably
nice average.
They put the pictures in the wrong.
Oh, I was like, how does Reggie only have 1 yard receiving? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Short 9. Leinart has time. Lofts it to Smith.
Flag on the play. Oh, good catch. Despite the penalty. Play through the contact. He seems a little happy.
Yeah. Pretty big. Imagine being a young guy like that. Pretty big moment for a young player like that. When I was young, a big win was against UCLA. Not winning the national championship.
So for some reason, my computer charger isn't working. So give me a second. I might be piecing out here by accident.
Your charger's not working. Oh, that's not good.
No, I don't know why.
Dan, next time Ryan, next time I come on, I'm gonna bring my IT guy with me. We'll get this. We'll get all these matters.
Hey, hold on.
Look at how perfectly this follows.
Being held. That's a great job of keeping your lead hand free, even with a guy grabbing on you.
I mean, 2 crazy catches for touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
That's a very not easy catch to make.
No, those are crazy catches.
Hey, Shaun, just so you know, we're watching live, 5 of us all together, a game and commenting on, okay, like this is real easy to do. Do you think this is easy? Like that sack you had was super easy? This is not easy.
It's all right. I don't blame you, Ryan. I blame Keaton.
That's what I like to do.
Wow, he's a vet to the show already. Everyone blames me. Anyway.
But they're certainly getting to make all the noise right now because they lead 35-10.
And they've scored on their last 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns in their last 4 possessions.
This is a make or break drive right here. Yeah. If you don't score before halftime, the game's pretty much over. I mean, I feel the last touchdown feels like a dagger already.
Well, the dagger is about to come.
Thanks for ruining it, Dan. I haven't seen this game before.
They had gone 39 straight possessions without allowing to score and just given up 4 straight on 4 straight possessions. I mean, try to imagine what's going on in their head in Oklahoma. I mean, how discombobulating must this be?
Lofts it out to Peterson. And Peterson trying to carry.
I think we lost Keeley. for a little
You
bit.
could see Adrian just on that play, man. Just his want to. That's what I remember about him. He didn't. Unfortunately, he had the game he wanted in this one, but
he almost went for the first down, and then look what happened to him. He gets hit by about 9 guys.
Yeah, that was another staple of our defense too. Is guys ran to the ball, man. We were trained to just sell out.
And then
we were running to the ball.
Even the first down play, the draw, it looked like there was some space for him, and then he gets a yard beyond the line of scrimmage, and things are buttoned up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's turned it over again. Jones stumbles as he's coming out of his break.
Grew to good.
Look at that helmet.
It's such a weird shape. Like the helmet's just, it's like more of like an egg or something.
Did the OU equipment manager get fired after this game?
At halftime, I would think.
Big Manny Wright.
Get some shoes that work. With a 35-10 lead. Don't think that USC won't try to do something right here. At the 36, empty backfield. Leinart pump fake one way, throws back to Reggie Bush, but he overthrew him.
Oh,
yeah,
wide open.
Threw it over his head.
This wasn't like like USC had 2 timeouts here, and I could have really punched one in. I'm not gonna tell you what happened.
Brad Nessler's like, don't be surprised if they try something here. Like, of course they're gonna try to go down and score. Like, what? Now they're just gonna take a knee in plus territory.
Hey, man, get off Brad Nessler, man.
But I think 14 of the points came off turnovers, and then you turn it over again before the half. It's just, you can't do that.
Both scored 35, but not in the first half, which USC has done.
Yeah, it must have not been any fun to be an Oklahoma fan at this point.
Making a diving attempt to Steve Smith.
Another really good pocket for Leinart.
Yeah, like those, to go 0 for 2 of those first 2 throws was like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great threads in the history of college football websites was the Oklahoma in-game thread, where they started out in just sheer joy, and 400 posts later, it's, you're getting suicide prevention hotline. Go get them. I mean, it's one of, if you can ever find it, if you go to Google and try to find that thread, it's one of the great threads ever to read.
Check.
Shelby backs out of it. Now he does bring some pressure. Leinart goes complete, though. And it's
Catch.
Dwayne Jarrett. And it's
Throw
another
two.
first down for the Trojans.
That's trusting your receiver, man.
Yeah.
14 yards on third.
Yeah, I had forgotten how great a game Dwayne Jarrett had had. I mean, he
That's
did some tremendous things.
That's another long third down picked up as well.
Yeah. Jared did have a couple drops, but obviously big game. It was like the easier ones he didn't catch, but a lot of tough catches.
Oklahoma was even a man short, it appeared. Confusion on their defense, and they take a timeout.
That's their first timeout.
Already Dwayne Jarrett.
No rush from Leinart as you're getting so calm getting the team to the line before that timeout. Good look, AP.
The different faces of Adrian Peterson throughout the game kind of tell the tale of it.
Sean, what was it like with Leinart out there? He just always seemed so calm, cool, and collected. Was that kind of reassuring for the defense that you knew he always just seemed like real casual about everything?
Yeah, he was always, just remember about Matt was his leadership. He was always poised. He was always a leader. Even when they had that quarterback battle, that spring going in after Carson, when they had the quarterback battle with Castle and Billy Hart, Brandon Hans. They all had pretty good springs, but I think what set Leinart apart was his leadership. He was always in control and command. He couldn't rap. He took that big shot, still delivered the ball. He was always composed and a willing leader, and I thought that's what set him apart from most quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But until they made him the quarterback, he didn't become Matt Leinart. He became Matt Leinart once they said you're the guy, and it was almost like he was a different guy. I mean, Lawson.
Yeah, he still checks in on me and making sure I'm getting my task done like the leader he is. Shaun, are you still doing your stuff, man? All right, making sure. He's still leading me in life.
So he's out here playing his best ball game, and what we always find in a big ball game like this, sometimes you expect your stars to do all the work, and they've got to do their share. But it's one of the guys that's not maybe the main star, not Reggie Bush, not necessarily your main star on the team that comes up and plays big for you. And I think that's what Steve Smith is doing for this team this afternoon or this evening.
Former USC athletic director making commentary there.
Yeah.
That was probably the last time he paid attention to the USC football program.
But to not know how good Steve Smith was.
God.
Yeah. That shouldn't have been a surprise.
Ooh.
Oh, man, not Dan Cody. Jesus.
Your brother.
You're going to lose out in the Cody sack battle here.
Yeah, I know. I already knew I collected my 10th sack on the year. I was shutting it down, guys.
Double digits.
Yeah. I should do it for my draft stock. I'm all done.
What's the story behind the number 84?
Let's take it back to Tino Dominguez there. I used 84 in high school because I played tight end too, and then for some reason Tino thought I wanted to wear 84 in college, and he just gave it to me, and I didn't care. Number wasn't a big deal to me.
There you are.
Whew, that's a tight bod there. I got this quarantine dad bod going right now.
They've dragged this last minute out like a long time.
Just take a shot.
They probably had a lot of commercials to run.
Just throwing it away there, making sure you can still get the kicker out.
Yeah, Mitchell almost caught it for a loss. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Well, worse would have been if he would have caught it and got tackled in bounds.
Yeah.
They'd used both their timeouts.
Tim Davis, offensive line coach, getting some TV love.
And he has hit his last 7 in a row. And this will be an attempt at about 45 yards. They'll call it 44 officially.
Brian Colleen.
Did you talk with the kickers much?
Oh, I enjoyed our kickers on our team.
4 yards away. Kick on the way. And it's good.
Good shot.
Yeah, I enjoyed our kickers. In the NFL, I didn't really like those guys, but in our team, I liked Ryan Colleen, Bob Malone.
I mean, they were like brothers. Those two guys that just seemed like they were together always.
Yeah, him and Will Collins being up at the snapper. They had a good. I like those. They're a good group of guys. When I got to the NFL and they started paying those guys, I was like, "What? These guys make that much money to do that?"
Were Colleen or any of these guys on scholarship?
Yeah, I believe Colleen and Tom were.
Yeah.
And Tom Malone, after Shaun, Tom Malone was probably the biggest early recruit that they got. I think Ed decided they saw him in the spring and thought, boy, this guy's got. I mean, he had one of the best legs ever in college football history. If he doesn't get hurt, I think he would be one of the dominant punters probably ever that year.
Yeah, he was definitely a weapon for us on defense too, because we knew we were going to have a great field position.
This is the beginning of the longest sustained boo I think I've ever heard in college football, because Oklahoma had to leave the field through a tunnel that was right where the Oklahoma fans were, and they started booing, and it just lasted. I don't know if you guys noticed that when you were leaving the field, but they got booed off the field by their own fans. It was amazing. And then they introduced Ashley Simpson. It was the halftime show, and she got booed almost as much coming on as Oklahoma did going off. But their fans were really unhappy.
Oh, this is the Ashley Simpson halftime show?
Yeah, this is.
Yes, it is. I mean, the boos just kept going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
We got Keeley back.
I think what's great is you have, as USC fans or USC player, it was like we were so excited, we were so fired up. But if you were tuning in as a regular viewer, like I would have shut this off already. Like, I don't want to watch any more of this. This is
No,
what's going to happen in the second half here.
This is probably about the point where if you're watching as just me being from Georgia, you're watching this game, you'd be like, yeah, I think I've seen enough. What else is going on tonight? Yeah.
Got to keep the intensity on both sides to win this one, guys.
If they can just get Shaun Cody to step up on that side of the ball, maybe
I already had a cigar in the locker room, guys.
Yeah, what was it like?
Yeah, the Oklahoma fans were heading to the airport now. I mean, by the time we got to the Fort Lauderdale airport in the morning, they were mostly sleeping in the concourse. I mean, they just left and they went to the airports and got out of Dodge.
I think rather than them leaving to go straight to the airport, probably were like, it's Miami. Let's go take advantage of the nightlife in Miami because we know we're not coming back in this game. Let's go at least try to have a good time and forget about the football game itself. And maybe that's why they were sleeping in the airport because they've been up all night.
I know the ones we saw looked like they realized they were not going to have a good time. This was not a good time. I don't know if I've ever seen USC fans after the Texas game were a little bit like that, but maybe not quite the way we saw the Oklahoma fans.
Saw Brennan Carroll and Nick Vanderboom on the sidelines in the back shot there.
Vanderboom.
From Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, look at that.
Whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
That's his gun.
Shaun, was it hard to get guys motivated? It was 38-10 at half. Like, what do you remember? Like, what halftime was? I don't know if you were really having a cigar, but
no, halftime was it was celebratory, but it wasn't job over. The coaches are going to try to keep you in line, and you got a guy like Ed Ogeron roaming the sidelines. You're going to stay in line. We weren't in party mode yet, but we definitely knew if we could throw a couple of stops in this third quarter, it was probably going to be a wrap.
That Peterson fumble was on the ground for what seemed like an eternity.
They talk here about USC left the locker room open, and the Oklahoma kids had to go by the USC locker room and heard all the, screaming and shouting and all of that, and they said that was not a good time for Oklahoma either.
And you could start seeing it on their face too. They were ready to shut it down. You get a guy on his last limb there. Their offensive line, they weren't blocking near as hard as when they started the game.
When you sense that, what's that kind of feeling like when you feel like you've kind of destroyed someone else's will?
I mean, there's no better feeling in sports. It's kind of what you play sports for, right? It's kind of to beat someone to a submission, basically, and that's it. Kind of they start laying it down, and that's when you start looking around at the teammates and realizing you won and what kind of accomplishment you've been able to accomplish, and it's that's the best feeling in sports is to dominate someone like that.
I don't know if you saw the one statistic in the first half. Oklahoma had 18-20 of possession to USC's 11-40. So USC got 38 points in 11 minutes and 40 seconds of possession time.
That's crazy.
Notice you don't see the Oklahoma cheerleaders much.
Push. Oh, that's a dangerous throw. That's hey, I want a Heisman Trophy. I'm not going to make it in the NFL throw.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is. That throw gets picked off in the NFL. It goes the other way for 6.
Absolutely.
Throwing left and throwing right.
And now they've got to punt it to Reggie Bush after Wyatt made that great play. Probably had his left arm wrapped a little bit around there, but in slow motion, it looked more that way than it did in.
That was a big deal, Dan. Maybe you comment on this too. From the 2004 team to 2005 team, the secondary was just a lot better. Like by the time the Rose Bowl happened, like you had the Ting brothers playing and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, the secondary it took kind of that was one thing. Like Pete Carroll didn't recruit like amazing corners all the time. Like had some good ones, but there was never like a deep group. Or some of the other like linebackers, there was always like guys backed up or defensive linemen. For whatever reason, like the secondary, they didn't have like as much of a stockpile.
they were really good situational players. So I think the defense worked so well and put teams in position where you kind of had an idea of where the ball was going. And, you know, that's where they led the nation in takeaways because they were just so good at putting people in situations they didn't want to be. And then USC would take advantage of it, and it was a whole team thing. I think the other thing that helped.
I used to joke with Greg Burns about the secondary. I used to tell him when we have guys that are hunting the front, I don't even think we need a secondary. We just see somebody fly balls.
But you also had Lofa and Matt Rudiger that were so good in pass coverage. I mean, they were just so. I mean, if they came back today, I mean, it would make such a difference, you know, playing against, you know, the shotgun and the air raid type offense. It's unbelievably good linebacker cover guys. So they made
Lofa dropped a lot too. We ran Tampa 2 a lot, and Lofa's got to cover the middle third of the field a lot. And that was kind of his special, almost a safety role.
Right. I mean, they were spectacular.
It's just so hard to bring down. How different, Shaun, how different body types are Lindell versus Adrian Peterson?
Oh, Jesus. No, Lindell was never a big workout guy. Lindell liked running the ball, and he had sweet feet, and he could go fast, and that was you know, even when he practiced sometimes, he wasn't always practicing, but he knew Lindell was going to be there on game day and perform, and that's what he did every time, but definitely not the Adrian Peterson body type.
I mean, they're just both known for so much for being so difficult to bring down, because both of them have such great lower body strength.
I think Lindell could go through.
It
seemed a lot smoother.
He could go through on his tippy toes. He could move his body in ways in which that was not what Adrian Peterson did. Lindell was kind of one of a kind sort of a guy.
Yeah, Lindell was really smooth. I thought he was always moving, and it was like elegant, kind of agile. The way his body was. And Adrian Peterson was just like pure violence, like just herky-jerky kind of style.
And Lindell could carry the ball in ways in which it didn't look like it was very safe, and he didn't ever give it up. I mean, he had, you know, he carried it on his hip, he carried it, you know, one hand or the other, and it didn't seem to matter.
Carson Palmer, a Heisman Trophy winner, and Matt Leinart, likewise.
Interesting. I didn't know the Norm Chow coached Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, that 1 year at NC State.
Did not heard that one before.
And that's one of the good things. He went out and they said, we got to get an offensive coordinator. Who do we get? And they went and they found, you know, Norm after that 1 year at North Carolina State and got him, you know, to come back. After all
also, some of the best calves in coaching, Norm Chow. Nice calves.
Good throw. Another great pocket. We're using the rollout effectively.
And here's like a one-man pattern against double coverage, and they just throw it in there. I mean, it's just.
This is for protection. He wants to get outside the pocket. Look at that's the only guy that's out in the route, and he beats two.
You're not a backside guy? I thought I saw a backside guy.
Yes, lays it right in there.
There should be coming across there.
I mean, you're not supposed to be able to do that, what they just did. You can't do that. But they did.
You guys remember how big Deuce Latuli was when he came in? He was like 400 pounds.
From Arizona.
Mama style?
Was that Arizona, right? Deuce was, I think.
Was he out of Arizona? I don't know. I remember when he got there, I was like, oh my God. And then they got him down to a svelte 360.
Yeah.
Was his nickname Deuce because he was so big? Like there was like two people or something? I forget what it was. Something like that. Like there was some. Deuce was something about his size. I thought his nickname. I don't remember.
He was funny because the best part about it was when we played later in the NFL, he was always whenever he played, he would like laugh. He would like chuckle the whole game. Hey, Shaun. Like, why are you laughing? He was just a happy guy.
Is that a little tuck rule there?
Leinart gives it off to Lindell White. White bangs his way down to the 4, maybe to the 3. Lance Mitchell, the middle linebacker, made the stop. They'll bring up 3rd and goal.
That's a big carry just because now you're down inside the 5 on 3rd and goal. You got multiple options if you can get to the 3.
Like
run or throw.
You never got a really good direct hit on Lindell. He always seemed to have the ability to slide his body through in ways in which you don't look, for 235-pound guys to be able to do it. But there was a finesse to his game.
Yeah, definitely.
They've got 3rd and goal here. Reggie Bush shuffles in the backfield. Leinart over the end zone. Steve Smith, touchdown.
Jeez. Too easy, guys.
Was that the same play that he scored on earlier?
Yeah, just have this
Sure
Steve sit in the zone right there.
Use your catchword this time.
They just had more receivers than Oklahoma could cover. I mean, they just.
And I think the weakness is throwing on the middle linebacker.
I played with a guy named Teddy Lehman who played on Oklahoma's team the year before, and ever I talked to him, he would just tell me how devastated the whole state Oklahoma was after this game, man. They were crushed. He was always mad at me for some reason, and I'd be like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "That game, man. It's that game." He's my one of my good buds in the NFL. We still chat. He has a radio show in Oklahoma, and we'll chat every now and again. He still brings up the game and how much pain it brought to him and his college, man, and how sad he'll always be.
Well, they had been
no better feeling.
They had been really misled. I was in the press room one day in a hotel, and the Oklahoma City sports editor was on his radio show a couple of tables over, and I'm listening to it, and he's kind of laughing at USC. They're not serious. They're screwing around in practice. They're not like Oklahoma the way they practice.
See?
I don't remember a lot of plays where he got caught like that.
They had no idea what was coming. Yeah, they had no idea.
I was about to say see you bye on that one.
Guy makes the great lucky dive. I'll say that. They grab his heel.
Todd McNair had to be all over him. He's got to lift his heel on that play, guys. You got to get through that.
Reggie's foot hit Rodney right in the face mask, and Rodney's saying, "I'll take it." 73 yards on 5 carries for Reggie Bush.
It's pretty good average.
But that's the amazing thing.
Something like 14.8, I think.
Yeah, Reggie. They didn't need Reggie in this game. I mean, that's the how crazy this game was.
Yesterday at the coach's luncheon, Swanee was
It helps when your quarterback's thrown 5 touchdowns and no interceptions.
sitting next to me, and Jason White was sitting next to Bob, and Matt Leinart.
And that's the thing. That's what makes this team so dynamic and this offense so dynamic is, you sell out to stop Reggie and Lindell, and, you can throw a one-man route because of the play action and roll out, and the offensive line was good enough. I mean, there's just so many weapons that, complements each other so well.
This feels good, guys. This feels good watching USC just trounce somebody, doesn't it? Let's get back. I'd like to get back to this deal, man. This will be a lot better.
Yeah, I'd like to show them this video, a whole bunch. These recent USC teams, they ought to see. This is how USC football ought to be.
Yeah, this is fun though, Shaun. We do appreciate you coming and doing this. Probably after the next touchdown, we might skip ahead to like the post game stuff. But
how about those graphics?
Exactly. Can we talk about these graphics?
Incredible.
He breaks ankles.
Just like holding body parts.
Little student body right pitch.
We got a question on YouTube from Dylan who said, Shaun, what would you tell today's team about and coaching staff to take away from this era? You alluded to how the program is dialed in in this game.
It was a lot more difficult to play on than you had realized.
I'm sorry, Keely, what was that?
Sorry. I also should know that I can't hear Dan at all for some reason, so if I'm talking over him.
I don't think we realized before the game or on, when you go out on the field, it just didn't seem like it was going to be that difficult to play on. Yeah. But it became awfully slick.
Keely, what was that one? Maybe you want to repeat the question for Shaun.
Sorry about that. Dylan said on YouTube, you mentioned how good it is for USC to beat down a team. What would you tell today's team and coaching staff to take away from this era?
Yeah, I think, when I listen to your guys' podcast, Dan hits it a lot. It was about competing and it was about competition. And that's when you really break it down to the fundamentals of why this era happened and what happened. Pete Carroll got a group of young men to believe in competition and trying. I mean, it's carried over to my life and other aspects after football, but he got us to believe in what it meant to compete and try to be the best at what you do. And all these guys you're watching on this film bought into competing, and that's what we did every day at practice. We competed. Everybody thought they had a chance to beat someone out in a spot, so the guy behind you competed, and you were worried about losing your spot, so you had to compete. And it just made you better every day, and we got better slowly. Like you said, we look at the body types of some of these guys. We weren't the most attractive group out there, but we got it done because we worked hard and we competed every day.
Do you ever remember just times where somebody made a big jump on the depth chart, like from week to week, and that kind of was a signifier to the rest of the team, like somebody lost their spot or something, like, oh, that guy's almost always a starter, and for some reason just, they don't get to start one week, and it just kind of tells the team how important the competition during the week is?
Well, even in I could speak from my position. I know I had Manny Wright behind me, and Manny Wright was a huge recruit, and they brought Manny in, and Coach O made it clear to me, very clear, that if you weren't playing and making plays, Manny Wright's over here, he's making plays. We're going to have a guy in there making plays. And so even though, I was a player who was having success, I knew that there was a guy right behind me in Manny Wright that they wanted to get out there and get on the field. And that's why you saw me at some defensive end at times, because they knew they had a player in Manny, and they wanted to get him out there. So I knew there was a guy. If there was a guy, that could take my position, it could. And I think other guys on the defensive line knew, and everybody on that defense knew that you could lose your position if Shaun Cody can lose his position to Manny Wright, you can lose your spot. And so guys just knew that it was on the offensive line it would happen, and there was positions up for grab, and you could have a good week of practice and be like, you're getting more reps in that game.
See, I think that's one of the biggest things about preaching competition is for players to see it in action. Because I've talked with some of the players that have transferred out of USC in the past, and they feel like, hey, I was doing really, really well, and I just didn't feel like I ever was rewarded for it on game days. I'd get a couple snaps or something, but I never really got the opportunities I thought I was deserving. Yeah. And maybe there wasn't the explanation as well as to why you're not getting those type of opportunities. And that can be one of the things that really breeds that competition when you see it actually in action.
Yeah, as a player, you don't want it to be lip service. It's got to be it's got to be followed through by the coaches. It's got to be some guy's going to lose their spot. Someone's going to be upset, and then I think it makes it a lot more difficult in this era. Everyone's transferring, but it makes it, I think, a little bit harder. You have to be a little more delicate. But back then, it was like, hey man, you had a bad week of practice. You didn't show up in this game. I got to get some reps to this guy and show him see what he can do.
I think one of the things you have to practice hard enough and more like, game on Saturday to be able to show what you can do. And I'm not sure that's been happening where there's enough happens in practice where you could actually beat somebody out.
Yeah, if we didn't lack for film. We always had enough film to watch after practice of hardcore competition. It was if you were watching pass rush, or if you were watching 9-on-7, or if you were watching team tape or blitz period or whatever it was, there was always a lot of film you could watch after practice. And our practices weren't long; they were 2-hour practices. But we'd get a ton of rep in those times, and you'd have enough film to watch and reps to get to make sure you're getting better, or something was getting better than you.
Just inside.
I think the NCAA used
Mark wanted to know,
evidence,
how would you compare the camaraderie in college compared to the NFL? Was it different or fairly similar?
First of all, how did Reggie's parents get in the front row? My parents were in the front row. What the heck? No, I'm sorry, Keely. What was the question? I was being silly.
No, you're fine. Mark wanted to know, what would you say, how would you compare the camaraderie in college versus NFL?
It's totally different. I mean, it's night and day. There's, these guys I went to college with, I still have relationships with. I see them at games. I'll see them, especially I think the level of success we had, that plays into it a lot. A lot of guys may not have the college success that we had, and it makes a certain special bond with the guys you did it with. I think for me especially, I have friends from the NFL, and I keep in contact with a lot of guys, but the bond that we created with this period of success at USC with these guys will always be something special that we all hold dearly to, as opposed to playing the NFL, getting paid to do something, and this was our choice. We decided to come here, and we made a lasting impact there. How was that? I read that off the prompter. How was that?
Well done, Mr. Cody.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you spent more time with your college teammates or your NFL teammates? Because obviously in the NFL, you're allowed to be at the football field more often, but in college, obviously, you're often around your teammates much more off the field than you are on the field.
Well, I kind of feel opposite about it. Like in college, you're there with your guys. You're in classes with them. You're all day. You're going to weight room sessions with them. You're all this stuff. In the NFL, you guys kind of come into work, you knock out your work, and then you let you go, and you're gone for the rest of the day. In college, we'd all hang out after practice or whatever. In the NFL, you might hang out with a couple guys, but you're not going back to a dorm room and hanging out. You're kind of just, you might go back to your wife and kids. You might go back to whatever you're doing on the side. So it's a lot different in that aspect. I mean, all these guys are pretty much in the same time era. In the NFL, you're playing with a Tom Brady or somebody who's 15 years older than you. You don't have much in common with them.
It's much more probably small circles in the NFL, right? You have 2 or 3 guys you hang out with, frequently. Whether you have kids and they have kids and hang out, or similar lifestyles. Versus in college, you got a much larger group of people.
Well, just like you and Dan Shotgun, I'm sure you guys hang out all the time. You guys run that same small circle.
There he is again.
Grew to good. Picking it off.
Was there a defensive MVP and offensive MVP in this game or no?
Were you not it with that big sack?
I don't know, man. A lot of pressures. I don't know, Shotgun. How's those stats looking today?
Created 1 interception with the roll into the ankles.
I remember from this, at the end of this game, Pete had set up a big party at the hotel, and we had a blast. We tore it up, family, friends, everybody. I don't know if this is a violation or not, but it was just we had music, and it was a crazy party. And then I just felt when they won the Rose Bowl a couple years, I was like, man, aren't they having a big party, a big blast? And it was like, guys just went home and celebrated with their families. Like, oh man, we tore up Florida after this game.
Oh, good cut. Good cut.
He looked cool with that visor too. He looked intimidating.
He did have that look. It was just the way he talked. I mean, he just with a unique personality,
He had the black socks. He had that black socks on.
Ooh, he would piss off everybody with those black socks. Everyone was mad about that. We all had to wear white socks, but like Dale got to wear black socks. What the heck?
They say 18th play of 10 yards or longer.
Maybe like Ron Dane, Jerome Bettis kind of Lindell. Maybe a little faster than those guys, but similar kind.
I think he said he played the next year in the Rose Bowl. I think he was at like 255. Like he admitted like he wasn't in the best of shape or whatever, and still ran for like 200 yards in that game. Like it's crazy.
Being around SC, Keith and Dan and those guys do the games mostly out there.
The way Dan was talking about how he just kind of never takes hits full on, even for a big guy. I covered Randall Cobb in high school, and I just used to call him Slick because the way he when he had the ball in his hands, it was just slick because no one could ever get that big hit on him. Even though he was a quarterback at that time and he was a smaller guy, you're thinking as a defense, hey, if we can get a big hit on this guy, it'll slow him down type of thing. But no one could ever get a full contact blast on him ever.
Yeah, that's definitely a trait of some players. You think about guys that you never get a lick on. I always think about Darren Sproles. I played against Darren Sproles, and a little guy, but you never got a hit on him. What makes Lindell crazy is how big he was, and you never got a good hit on him.
Before the game tonight, he did it for probably half an hour. It's just funny to watch a head coach throwing the football around. I walked over to him and I said,
I imagine that's frustrating as a defensive player too.
Oh yeah, because right now all these guys want to kill Lindell on Oklahoma. Imagine how good you would feel. You feel terrible right now. You're feeling bad, and at least you get a good shot on Lindell. But for him to be that big, and it's so frustrating to not get a big shot on him, sure.
And he gets
Ryan, you talk about how young everybody looks. Sorry, Dan, but Ryan, you talk about how young everybody looks, except for Jason White. He still looks old as can be in this game. He still looks like he's like 34 years old in this game. I'm pretty sure of that.
That's some bad hair too. That's bad hair.
Pete's not chewing that gum, man. Where's that gum at?
Yeah.
Fourth down. Why not go for it?
Yeah.
Damn. Nice double team block.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get Shaun out of here by noon. Now that's the 55 points. I think I'm going to skip ahead to the celebration stuff if that's okay with everybody. Because
wait, did we win?
Lindell gets a flag on that play. Let's see if we get a replay first on this. Ryan.
Okay, we'll do that. Here, I'll switch, but we're going to jump ahead. So I appreciate Shaun. I appreciate you being here. We'll watch some of the celebration stuff. There's the Surrender Cobra, but we do appreciate you coming in. This is fun. We'll try to wrap this up in a few, but let me.
I got a busy schedule, Ryan. Sorry, man. 12 o'clock is deadline. This quarantine, man. I got 5-year-olds that are chomping at the bit. I got a 10-year-old that needs some pool time, man. It's an important day. I got no time to waste, Ryan. I'm just kidding. We can watch this all day if you want.
Was that a little bit of?
I understand The Office.
Was that a little Icky Woods shuffle there?
Yeah, that was definitely the
from Lindell.
No question about it.
That take you back, Dan? Seeing that?
Yeah, there's a former Bengals employee. Yeah, watching the Icky shuffle. Yeah. Took him a while to call this darn thing.
There were 2 fouls. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 21 on the offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Jay Mitch.
I'm sure Lindell's saying, "Oh, I'll never do that again."
You guys should watch a game with Lindell White. I'm sure that would be an entertaining game.
That would be.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Never short for words.
All right. Well, jumping ahead in the action.
Hey, USC won.
Wow, look at that.
Look how many players on our team. Jeez.
We are here. This is the 7th BCS 1 versus 2 National Championship game. And I have with me the proud chairman and president of the Orange Bowl Committee, Christopher Knight.
The only other time Lynn Swann got to stand on a championship podium with the USC football team behind him was the Pac-12 championship game.
Did you guys? Did you guys
he did get one of them. He got to stand up there with the Pac-12 championship when USC won 2 years ago.
There's Shaun.
There I am, man. Look at that pencil thin goatee, man, is looking righteous.
Coach, congratulations to you and your team on a fantastic game and a great season. Now, on behalf of ADT Security Services, 6 million customers.
I never understand why they let the sponsor's president come out and speak in these things. Like, nobody wants to hear from this guy. Why are you out there?
Look at Shaun showing off his
Look
tattoo.
at you in the background.
There are many a million.
Well, you did all the work. You gotta have fun now, guys.
Yeah, you gotta flaunt it. You gotta flex, literally and figuratively.
I just wanted to throw the oranges everywhere.
Did you try to throw the crystal ball anywhere?
No. Will Ferrell, we got to hang out with Will Ferrell here. We're having a good time with little Will. This is the blossoming of a beautiful relationship me and Will Ferrell still have to this day.
Wow.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
He listens to the radio call, guys. He probably listens to your show as well. He's a true fan.
Nice.
Wow.
It's even greater that we got a Trojan talking about it right now with me. This is an extraordinary night for the Trojan family. We're so proud to represent this great following. They've been awesome. It's something really special is happening, and we're just loving being a part of it. It's great to do it here in the Orange Bowl in such great style and class and fashion. We're really thrilled about this.
Well, Coach, you brought this football team from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and you brought all these fans. But you couldn't have imagined, I don't believe, that you were going to dominate this great and very good Oklahoma team.
Yeah, he did.
Great respect for Oklahoma and their program.
He's obviously never talked to Pete Carroll before. He probably saw it. Pete knew this 2 years ago.
We could play the way we were capable of if everybody hung together. We brought great heart, and they just wouldn't let it happen any other way. They wanted to leave no doubt.
Well, I do believe they did not leave any doubt whatsoever. Back-to-back national championships, and there's a young man who's standing behind you.
I'm eating up that FaceTime, huh, guys? I'm not going to leave that spoon.
You're in the prime spot.
Yeah, I know.
Very Shaun Cody of you.
I was no dummy at the time. Stand by Leinart, stand by Reggie, stand by Carroll.
Thank you.
So, Matt,
You also have to be important to be up on that podium right now, as you see everyone else standing around or
Yeah.
on the back podium.
Kevin Hart was trying to get up there. I don't know if you guys got that joke.
Yeah.
I got to make a decision quick, but I can't answer that right now. But I just want to. Come on. I just want to relish this night. It's a great night. I think we proved tonight that we are the #1 team in the country without a doubt.
well, Matt,
No doubt.
I know you've got a lot of things to think about.
That Joe Burrow confidence.
Is that related to the 2003 National Championship?
You know, it's just something special we have
The
going
split
on.
championship?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see why we can't do this again next year, and I think that's enough motivation for me to come back.
That definitely was a driving force that year. I do remember that being kind of a itching point for us that we wanted to definitely solve that problem.
Well, there's a challenge on the table. I'm going to take a moment to talk to one of your partners on the offensive side, Reggie Bush. Reggie, step right over here.
Come on, Lynn, get a defensive guy. Jeez.
Now, Reggie,
I looked it up. There was not a defensive MVP awarded.
That's what makes me upset about this whole history. It was like USC just jumped on the back of Leinart and Reggie Bush, and the defense didn't play anything. Look at the stats, man. It'll show you the truth, man. The defense, we carried the load.
I mean, all the turnovers you guys forced was a huge factor. I mean, in this game too, you know.
Yeah.
we ain't stopped, and we're not going to stop. Congratulations. Well,
But we struck the Heisman post.
Coach, he also wants to thank his O-line.
You got the
Lynn is floundering.
linebacker
He's
saying.
floundering. Someone get him.
Coach, come on back here.
He was kind of floundering a little bit there.
Come on, Lynn.
I love how the oranges they're just dwindling.
Lots of mimosas.
Liner's throwing the beer pong toss, the form on that.
Yeah.
This team has learned how to work. They've learned how to play together and to bring out the very best in each other. And we'll continue to do that. And if that's what that takes us, we'll go take that too. We'd love to have it. Hey, I want to make sure all those people up there stay here. We're going to have a party tonight.
Buddy. He was already party planning.
That's absolutely outstanding, Coach. I want to tell you that
Look at JJ.
It's been a great football season for myself, Brad Nessler, and Bob Greasy. It's outstanding because
Mike Garrett in the back.
Daryl Gross.
Daryl Gross, yeah.
President Sample.
But because you, Pete Carroll, Bob Stoops, and several other coaches in college football have demonstrated and raised the bar for all these young men in college football, and we think they'll live up to the standards you set for them. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Great to be here. Thanks so much for coming. See you later.
Woo!
Now I'm going to
See you later.
my colleagues, Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy.
All right, Swanee, and thank you. And it's not as easy on the other side, in the other locker room.
Need
All
that
right.
post-locker coverage.
Let's do that. They're running out of oranges. All right, we don't need to hear this part. Okay, sorry, Bob. Well, hey, we really appreciate you coming on, Shaun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to do this again. We'll get you and Will Ferrell on one time. You comment on one of these.
Yeah, I'll call my boy Will up, and we'll get back to you guys, man. He's not as busy as me, but we'll try to get him on. Hey, I want to thank you guys. I had a good time. This is fun. If you guys ever want to do it again, and you guys do a great job covering the team. For everybody watching out there, I turn to USCFootball.com for all my information, man. Shotgun and Dan and Keely and Ryan, you guys do a great job, and keep kicking butt, guys.
Thanks so much. We really appreciate that. And
Just the way Ryan wrote that.
yeah,
Nice
thanks.
read.
I owe you a dinner or something now, Shaun.
Okay, you can put the prompter down, baby.
All right, so that's for Dan, Keely, Shotgun, myself, and of course the great Shaun Cody. Sorry, I don't have Keely on the screen right now, but
Thanks.
yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had fun. We'll try to do one of these. We'll try to do once a week, pick a game on YouTube or something. But this was great, and having Shaun on was awesome. So thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks, Shaun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.